wanted to debate is whether or not it is hypocritical to speak out against animal abuse while simultaneously eating meat. And my debate opponent here, Supersonic Fame, he wanted to specifically focus on the YouTuber Penguin Zero, whom I've made multiple videos about. I've accused him of being a hypocrite for speaking out against YouTubers like So Young, who tortures animals, basically eats them alive just for YouTube content. And he's also criticized other YouTubers for like killing their pets. And I've called him a hypocrite for doing this because he's willing to, you know, stand up for animal rights when it comes to certain animals, but he's literally paying for animals to get murdered with his food choices.
It's not murder.
Okay, well, since the debate is supposed to be centered around Penguin Zero specifically, he has actually stated that it is murder when you kill animals. He has stated that on video. That's his personal opinion. He has also stated that basically causing an animal to feel suffering and pain, that is by definition torture and abuse. So by his definition of what constitutes animal abuse or unjustifiable treatment of animals, he is supporting murder and he is supporting torture and abuse. So by definition, based on his own criteria for what constitutes animal abuse and unjustifiable treatment, he is an animal abuser and he is therefore a hypocrite. And on top of that, we can speak more broadly about whether or not you're a hypocrite for, you know, saying, oh, I love animals, I don't want to see them get harmed but while eating meat. I would say, if we're going to speak on this topic more broadly for your general person, I would say if you believe in the concept of human rights and you're against human tragedies like the Holocaust, I would say it is hypocritical, therefore, to support an animal holocaust if you do believe in the concept of human rights. Because I do believe animal rights just follow logically from human rights. So, we can get into things. What do you have to say?
Okay. First of all, Penguin Zero is not a hypocrite because he's not going out of his way to abuse and torture an animal on YouTube for entertainment, while So Young is.
Okay, so because he does the animal abuse off of YouTube, it's therefore not hypocritical?
No, he's not abusing his dog or something.
Okay, well, he's paying for animals to be abused.
Just because he eats meat, that doesn't mean he supports the way they're being treated.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely
No, it doesn't.
does. Okay, so if I were buying child pornography off the dark web, would I not be paying for children to be abused?
That's not the same thing.
It doesn't matter if it's not the same thing. The situation is the same. So you're saying if you're paying for something, that means you are not necessarily paying for everything that that comes along with that service.
The difference here is that when you buy child pornography, you would be the type of person who go out of your way to
No, not necessarily. No, it doesn't even.
But you're the type of person who would want to do that.
No, not necessarily. I don't even see how that's relevant. So what you're claiming here is that if you pay for meat, it doesn't matter if the animals are being tortured. You're not ethically responsible for how the animals are being treated, even though you are supporting that industry financially. So if we're going to be logically consistent with that reasoning, that means if you buy child pornography off the dark web, that means you're not responsible for how these children are being treated in these, child rape videos, right? So do you believe we should be logically consistent?
That's a bit of a stretch.
No, it's not. Look, I totally agree that it's not the same thing, like child pornography is not the same thing as eating meat, but we have to be logically consistent, right? Do you believe we should be logically consistent?
Yes.
Okay, so then if you are going to claim that you are not responsible for animals being tortured when you buy meat, then being logically consistent, you are not responsible for children being raped when you buy child pornography. Correct?
Yeah, you you should be still held responsible because you would be a type of person who would want to go out of their way to do that to someone.
No, not necessarily.
Kind of.
No, not necessarily. And again, that's totally irrelevant. So, like, it's funny, you seem to be kind of uncomfortable with, like, having to admit this. Like, so do you actually believe we should hold people responsible for, you know, their financial transactions when it comes to supporting rape, torture, and murder?
Just because Penguin Zero eats meat, that doesn't mean he supports the way that they're being abused. That's like me saying you support child. That's like me saying you support child slavery by buying a computer.
Okay, so can you tell me where? Okay, so show me what computer parts do I own that actually cause child slavery to occur?
What brand do you use?
Okay, well I have an NVIDIA RTX graphics card. I have an Intel, sorry, not an Intel, AMD CPU. Like, ooh, show me. What computer parts do I own that require child slavery to occur? Do you have any evidence that any technology I own was built with child slavery? Okay, so you don't.
There was before.
Okay, well, do you have any evidence that any product I own, do you have any evidence that it was made with child slavery?
And just say your line of reasoning, you could use that against anyone for anything.
No. Look, if you... Fuck my cat. If you know that animals are being tortured and murdered in an industry, and that torture and murder is necessary for those products to be produced, you are by definition supporting torture and murder. Same with child pornography. Guess what? Children have to be raped to produce child pornography.
So I don't condone torturing them.
You do. You actually do.
No, I prefer them being killed humanely.
Okay, can you define what humane killing is?
Humane killing means you kill it painlessly.
Okay, well, there's no such thing as painless killing in animal agriculture. And I can actually go over some of the evidence for that. So, one of the most common, so there's basically two ways to stun a pig. So let's just start off with pigs. We can go over every other animal. So there are two common stunning practices with pigs. There is electrocution and there is CO2 gas. So basically they suffocate pigs with gas.
Wait, couldn't they just bolt gun them?
They can, but that has its own issues. It is very easy to miss with a bolt gun. The bolt gun might not actually stun it immediately. It might wake up after stunning. So, no, especially for pigs, they have extremely thick skulls. Please note, my fucking cat keeps whacking their blinds. They have extremely thick skulls, so they don't usually use bolt gunning with pigs. That's more of a thing that they use with cattle. So with pigs, they use electrocution and they use CO2 gas. So with CO2 gas, it is actually the most painful way to make an animal go unconscious. So I will share some interesting research with you. So right here. So over here, the human amygdala and the induction and experience of fear. So basically, this is a paper that goes over the function of the human amygdala. So the amygdala is responsible for making you feel fear. So that's part of your brain that if there's a dangerous situation, like say somebody's about to stab you or something, that is what will create fear and panic. Now someone who is missing their amygdala, they actually won't be able to feel fear or panic. You could shoot at them, spiders could crawl over their body, they won't feel any sense of fear, with one exception. So this is research that has been conducted in humans. So fear and panic in humans with bilateral amygdala damage. So in humans that have non-functioning amygdalas who regularly...
What's amygdala?
Yeah, I just went over this. It's a part of your brain that's responsible for allowing you to feel fear. So in humans that have a damaged amygdala, who normally wouldn't be able to feel fear, when they are given CO2 gas, I don't know why fucking Discord's messing with me. So when you give them CO2 gas, when you give them CO2 gas, when they inhale CO2 gas, they experience fear and panic attacks, even though under normal circumstances they wouldn't be able to feel fear. So that is arguably the most painful, scary experience you could possibly have, and that is one way that we actually, that's considered humane, that's considered a humane way to stun animals. And there are direct, okay, OBS is being, why won't this, okay, there we go. So I'll actually show you a direct experiment on animals. So I will share this screen. So this is an experiment that was conducted on a pig. They were trying to see how traumatic it is to use CO2 gas stunning methods. How traumatic it is for these animals to experience this. So they trained a pig to eat its food in one of these gas chambers. It was taught to associate this gas chamber with being fed, so it would have a positive association with this gas chamber. Now, after they filled the room with CO2 gas, you will notice that the pig will start to thrash around like crazy. It is in a state of absolute terror and panic and pain. It started screaming like crazy, basically doing everything it could to get out of that situation. So you can see how insanely traumatic it is for this animal. And then after they performed this experiment, the pig was kept alive, so they turned off the CO2 gas.
That's messed up.
Yeah, they turned off the CO2 gas, and they wanted to see how the pig would react to going back in that room. So again, the pig was being fed in that room for several days before they conducted this experiment. The pig refused to go back in that room for 3 days. So the pig starved itself. It was so traumatized and so fearful of having to relive that experience again that it was willing to starve itself. So that is how most pigs are being stunned in animal agriculture. So by Penguin Zero's definition of abuse and torture, he is supporting animal abuse and torture when he eats a bacon double cheeseburger.
Welfare of animals.
Okay, Prismo, what the fuck, my damn cat. So you're saying we should kill them more nicely?
Yes.
Prismo, holy fuck, what are you doing? Oh my god, my cat. So, yeah, dude, it is a reality right now that this is a common practice for killing animals. Penguin Zero is well aware of this practice. I've made several videos responding to him, telling him this is how pigs are killed and treated, yet he is still perfectly willing to support these industries. So, by definition, would you agree that Penguin Zero... Well, wait, so by definition, would you agree that Penguin Zero is a hypocrite for claiming we shouldn't torture animals while supporting animal torture?
No.
How is he not a hypocrite for saying it's wrong to torture animals while supporting animal torture?
Because that's like me saying you support the abuse of women and children by buying tickets to a movie. Hollywood has abused child actors constantly, so by you having in a single movie, you supported that.
No, not every movie. So, for one thing, it's not required to sexually abuse or abuse anyone to produce a Hollywood movie. There is no way of you knowing if any actors were abused or sexually or otherwise. And not every movie, like every movie production, has that occurring. And guess what? If I knew that there was some sort of Hollywood actor or director who was committing like some sort of abuse, I wouldn't go see that movie. I'd say I have a moral responsibility not to support the production, which is why I'm not going to see Aquaman 2, because Amber Heard is in it. and she has physically attacked and abused her husband, Johnny, and she's being allowed to star in that movie. The director and the producers of that movie are protecting Amber Heard and supporting her abuse, and I'm not going to see it, and I'm not going to support it. So, again, how is it not...
But not all slaughterhouses treats their animals that badly, though.
They do. They either use gas or electric stunning, and let's go over electric stunning. So, electric stunning is extraordinarily painful, and we know this because there are people who've actually survived electric chairs. There was a man who's well-known named, what's his name? Willie Francis. So he was a teenager who was sentenced to death wrongfully. He was basically racially profiled and accused of murder. He was never responsible for the murder. They sentenced him to death anyway. And on 2 occasions, they tried to electrocute him to death, and it failed. So he is quoted as saying, and I will share... Oh, whoops. What did I do here? I will share my screen with her again. So Willie Francis is quoted as saying, "The best way I can describe getting electrocuted," so the electric chair, "is it felt like 100,000 pins were pricking in me all over, and my left leg felt like somebody was cutting it with a razor blade. I could feel my arms jumping at my sides. I thought for a minute I was going to knock the chair over. I think I must have hollered for them to stop. They said, 'Take it off, take it off.' I know that was certainly what I wanted them to do, turn it off." So being struck with that much electricity, enough to actually kill or stun you, is extraordinarily painful. If you talk to anyone who's being shot by police with a taser, they will tell you it's extremely painful, and that is much more mild of a dose of electricity compared to the dose of electricity that would be used to stun an animal. You can also take a look at, what is it called, electroshock therapy. So with electroshock therapy, what they do is they give you enough electricity through your head to induce a seizure, and that has some therapeutic benefit, but when they actually do that procedure, they have to give you anesthesia. So they put you to sleep before they do it, because it would be extraordinarily painful. I've actually known someone who's done electroshock therapy. The anesthesia failed. She was actually still conscious while it happened. She said it was basically like getting hit in the head with a fucking brick. It was fucking painful, and afterwards she was super disoriented. So those are the only 2 stunning methods they use for pigs in the US before they kill them. Both ways are extraordinarily painful, and they are by definition torture, at least by definition.
Couldn't they just give the
according
pigs
to
anesthesia so they feel less pain?
No, they can't. No, they can't. Not only would that be not economically viable, but if you give them anesthesia, that means the drug will be in their system when they're killed, and then you would end up eating that medication. So that would be a huge human health hazard. So no, they can't. So those are the 2 stunning methods that they use in an industry today. Penguin Zero supports these industries, knowing that before these pigs are killed, they are, by his definition, being tortured. So is he not a hypocrite for buying bacon cheeseburgers from McDonald's while claiming he's against animals being tortured and murdered? So by definition, is he not a hypocrite?
What else do you expect them to eat?
I don't know. He claims to make $200,000 a month on average, so he can eat whatever he wants. He could eat Beyond Burgers, Impossible Burgers. He could eat plenty of mock meats from Field Roast. He certainly has the financial capability to do that. He could eat beans, lentils, rice, chickpeas. He could eat the millions of different species of plant foods. So that's
Penguin already admitted that he loves Beyond Meat sausages.
Sorry?
Penguin already admits that he loves Beyond Meat sausages.
Okay, well, he still pays for pigs to get tortured and murdered. So by definition, is he not a hypocrite?
No, he isn't.
Okay, how is he not by definition a hypocrite when he claims It's wrong to murder and torture animals while supporting animals to be tortured and murdered.
He's not directly torturing an animal.
Oh, okay, so you're saying as long as you don't do it, you pay someone else to do it, it's fine? So if I pay for somebody to rape a child and buy child pornography on the internet, I'm not responsible for it?
No, that's not the same thing. When Penguin is paying for it, for meat, the animal is already dead. Well, whereas you start the process in which the child abuse happened.
No, okay, so let's say I bought child pornography off the internet where the child was already raped and murdered. So would that be okay? Would that be okay in your eyes to buy child pornography when the child is already raped and murdered?
I still don't want you in my society because you enjoy children being raped.
Okay, so would you want somebody in your society who enjoys torturing and murdering animals?
No.
Okay, so then why would you want Penguin Zero in your society when he pays for animals to be tortured and murdered?
He's not responsible for how the animals are being treated, though.
Well, he's paying for it, so yes, he is responsible. Would you say that if you buy child pornography on the internet, you're not responsible for how these children are being treated? Since you're supporting their treatment?
Yes, you should be held responsible.
Yeah, okay, so then you would agree logically that you should be held responsible for how these animals are treated.
No, because just because you eat meat doesn't mean you condone the way you're being treated.
Yeah, it does. If you are well aware of the way they're being treated, yet you still decide to pay for them to be treated that way, then clearly you do condone it.
Like, you could just vote for laws that just improve the welfare of animals, though.
Okay, well, guess what? Those are the two stunning methods that are currently used under current laws that is considered humane when clearly it is not. So if you buy a burger, a bacon cheeseburger, you are paying for animals to be tortured and murdered. So, by definition, according to you and according to Penguin Zero, that is torture and abuse. So you would have to agree that Penguin Zero is being a hypocrite. So what is it? I don't see how it's relevant for you to claim there is some hypothetical method that is more humane that we could be using. The fact is we're not using that method right now, and if you buy a burger today, you are paying for animals to be tortured and murdered.
Yeah, they could just kill them while they're asleep.
No, because they have to be, like, that's just completely impractical. You cannot just kill an animal while it's asleep. The stunning methods that they use would wake the animal up for one thing, and even if you could hypothetically use some sort of device like a gun to shoot them while they're asleep, it wouldn't be practical because you'd have to separate each animal individually, wait until it's asleep. There's no way to do that economically. It's just insane. And again, Penguin Zero has equated killing an animal to murder. He has stated this on video. So even if there was some sort of hypothetical method of killing an animal where it could die painlessly, according to Penguin Zero, that is still murder.
No, you said killing a cat is murder. You never said that killing a cow or a pig is murder.
Oh, okay, so please tell me how killing one animal is murder, but killing another animal isn't murder. Please explain to me how you can only murder a cat, but somehow you cannot murder a cow or a pig or a chicken. Please explain.
Because cows and pigs are not pets. Cats
people do keep pigs. No, people do keep pigs as pets. People do keep cows as pets. So what are you talking about?
And people keep teddy bears as pets. Or you say it's wrong to destroy teddy bears because people keep them as pets?
Yeah, teddy bears aren't sentient, so pigs are kept as pets. There are some people who keep cows as pets. I don't even see how that's relevant. In China, there are areas where dogs aren't kept as pets; they're kept as livestock. So I don't see how that's relevant. If you're going to claim that killing one animal is murder but another isn't, you're going to have to give some sort of explanation why you have it.
Okay. Killing a dog is wrong, but killing a pig isn't because dogs are better than pigs because dogs are man's best friend and pigs aren't, because throughout history we use dogs for hunting, and dogs were useful for hunting because not only were their intelligence was useful, but their smell too.
Okay, so pigs are more intelligent than dogs, and there are a number of ways that we actually use pigs for not just for food. We actually use pigs for truffle hunting. So pigs have an extremely strong sense of smell, and pigs are used in industry to find certain types of fungi that grow below ground. So no, pigs are kept as pets. They are highly intelligent. They're even smarter than dogs, and there are industrial, practical uses for pigs outside of just using them for food. So by your definition, it's wrong to kill a pig. By your standards, it's considered murder.
Actually, dogs actually eat pigs.
Okay, I don't understand how that makes it not murder to kill a pig, but it's murder to kill a cat or a dog.
Because dogs and other canines are superior to pigs because they ate them.
Oh, okay, so was Jeffrey Dahmer, was he superior to all of his victims because he killed and ate them?
No, he's a piece of shit.
Okay, but he ate them, so clearly he's superior. Eating someone makes you superior to them, right?
No.
Okay, you know what, I'm done. I don't think there's any point in continuing this because you're clearly mentally disabled, so thanks for coming on, dude. Alright, if anyone in the chat, I don't know, wants to debate me, that was insane. So, look, everyone's going to tell me, why are you debating somebody who's mentally disabled? R-word. He is the only one who agreed to debate me. I have gotten into at least, 15 or 20 Twitter arguments with different people over the last few weeks. He is the only one who agreed to debate me. So it is only people who are mentally disabled who are willing to come on. So, okay. Yeah, so if anyone wants to, I don't know, continue this conversation in Discord, you can message me on Twitter. Maybe I will, let me see. Maybe I will actually do an invite. Okay, so I will invite anyone into the Discord if you want to join into the debate room. The link is in the description. I'll also link it once in the chat. So you can join in, come into the waiting room. I'll let you pop in and you can say whatever you want. If you want to debate me on anything, really, I don't give a fuck. This is like the shortest debate, probably the stupidest debate I've ever had yet, so. Did you do the research about the study you talked about with Destiny yet? I've already talked about it over with Dr. Avi. I've gone over the statistics and everything. So I just have to shoot the video. How about a Q&A? Yeah, so if you want to ask me any questions, go ahead. But if anyone wants to join in and argue with me, I'd be more than happy. Like, this was supposed to be a debate, but it wasn't really much of a debate. It was me just talking through somebody who was not mentally competent enough to understand anything I was fucking saying. Let's see. Seriously, get D'Angelo. I've tried to contact D'Angelo, and he will not respond. Unsurprisingly, it is really only mentally disabled people at this point who are willing to debate me, so... When are you actually going to fight someone? Hopefully later this year. So Kenny KO and I, we do have a boxing match planned. Gonna have to wait for a vaccine and for travel restrictions and shit to be lifted. So, yeah, I'm not gonna train until I can get that going. Okay, Jonas, what's going on, dude?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, so what did you want to talk about?
How are you, man?
Pretty good, dude.
I'm a big fan, dude.
Oh, that's cool. So did you want to talk about anything in particular?
No, man, not real, but I'm a big fan. I'm a vegan, and I like your content.
Okay, thanks, dude.
And, yeah, it's cool, man.
Alright, well, nice talking to you, bro. I'm just going to... Let's see... How do you move someone from... Okay, I don't know how to... I was told... Oh yeah, disconnect. Yeah. I don't know, man. I would like another challenger. I kind of was ready to get into a whole debate, and I got a bunch of research and everything ready, but yeah, I'm disappointed now. What app are you using? I'm using Discord. Okay, so we got somebody else popping in. Hey dude, what's going on? Can you hear me, bro? Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It sounds like you're way off in the distance, though.
Okay, I am looking for my microphone from alright. Tell me what it sounds like. Okay.
I can hear you, but it sounds like you're talking into a mic that's really, really far away.
Yeah.
Like, are you far away from your microphone?
I'm actually not far from it. I think my volume might be very low.
Okay.
It's going to settings. Okay.
Okay, well, what did you want to talk about?
Oh, okay, so I was actually gonna say I was actually planning to probably message you in like five weeks or something, or 4 weeks, saying I wanted to date you, but I thought I'd view it more as like a conversation than a debate. But anyway, I was going to write down on a piece of paper sort of the points in my head, but too late for that now. I'll just try to think of them. So let's see. Here's my first point. I'm gonna name one. Is my volume okay? Maybe turn me up.
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
Alright, so one point I was thinking of, it doesn't really prove anything, but it's sort of like a God, not really a religious point, but when he's sort of like a God point, but when you think about it, there's pretty much only a couple ways, I guess only two ways reality can be. Either there is God or there is no God. I guess when you think about it. But
Sure.
of course, what is God? God is something that can have many different definitions. Like someone could think God is like conscious and like, or not God is conscious, but God is let's say intelligent, and God is like a Lord God that intelligently rules over things and has like, I guess you could say, a persona. And then some people might think God has no persona, God just like some mysterious entity or something. So I guess when you say God could be real, there's so many different ways someone can think God could be. Or God could not be real, in which case that's kind of like a singular, oh, there is no God. There's not really much ways you can interpret that reality. But what I was thinking of in terms of veganism is, or eating meat, is if God is real, and if God is like a Lord God that actually has like, I guess that would mean God sets morality and God like decides what's wrong and bad and what's good. So if God is real, I was thinking to myself, if God is real, would he make eating meat a sin that punishes you in any way? And I was just kind of thinking to myself, probably not. Like, if God is real and he created this universe, created reality, and when I say God, I guess I mean the ultimate, the first thing to ever exist, I guess. Like, the ultimate creator was infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite, I guess, power, I guess. If that God was real, and then he created this reality we all see around us, I guess I personally concluded, just thinking about it for a couple of weeks, I just realized, I don't think he would probably make eating meat a sin, because I guess it tastes really good, and it's like, and it would seem like if he did create this reality, it's kind of seems like, I guess you could say not really self-evident, because who knows if it's really true, but it seems almost self-evident that like, in this reality, it seems like humans are placed as the lords of this, kind of like the higher beings of this earth. Humans are like the rulers, the higher beings, and like we have lordship over the animals. And it almost seems like, well, they're there for us to eat. If God was real, it's kind of easy to make that view, that assumption. But of course, this is all going into, oh, you can't really prove God is real at all, right? So I guess the question I want to ask you is, if God was real, do you think he would make eating meat a sin? And of course, there's no real way you can prove it either way, but what do you think?
I think if God was real, there wouldn't be any suffering. If we're going to define God as an all-powerful, benevolent being, if you're all-powerful and benevolent, you wouldn't create suffering and death.
That is a good point. So am I kind? I guess maybe I like this kind of stuff, but I am coming in decently into this thing.
Yeah.
It seems like the chat hears me and stuff. Maybe just Oh, anyway, I won't talk about my voice. I guess I'm coming in well. Maybe like I'm low to you, but maybe still here. Okay, so about the God point you just made about there wouldn't be any suffering. Let me just give me about 20 seconds to think about that. That is a good point. Where did I say about that? Yeah, you're totally right. There's starving kids in Africa, little kids getting cancer. There's a whole lot of suffering, right? So
like the only way for suffering to exist, if an all-powerful, benevolent being existed, is if that being doesn't exist, or if that being is not benevolent. And in which case,
that's a good point.
In which case, who cares whether or not God thinks something is right or wrong, because it's not a benevolent being. So you can't use that to justify anything.
All right. I think I still have some interesting things to say.
Message me on Twitter if you want to debate this further. I just have to get more people
I
in the
actually
chat.
would like to talk to you further about this, but in the future. But I got one more point I want to say.
Just message me on Twitter, and we can debate this if you want. All right, dude?
All right, cool. You might like this, but I can talk to you later. All right.
Okay, take care. All right. So, Vegan God wants to come in the chat. Or maybe, what's up, dude? So what did you want to talk about?
How do I check my messages?
Oh, there you go. I can hear you.
How do I?
Hello? Do you hear me? You might be like AFK or something.
Nope.
Hello, do you hear me?
Hello?
Hey, do you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, do you hear me?
Oh, you can hear me?
Okay,
One
so, it's weird and confusing. Alright, I don't know what happened there. Okay, Safe B, what's up? I cannot hear you. Oh wait, I took your mute off. Why? Okay, this is weird. Looks like Discord isn't picking up my mic now. Hello? Okay, that's strange. I think I'm gonna have to exit out of Discord and restart it. Looks like Discord isn't picking up my mic now. Will veganism improve my erections? Potentially. If either you get an improvement in blood flow, then yeah, potentially.
Yo, what's up?
Okay, yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, man, how are you?
Good, thanks. What did you want to talk about?
I actually have only a short question.
Okay, sure.
Do you think, like, cavemen would survive if they were vegan?
Like, you're saying if cavemen back then would survive eating a vegan diet?
No.
Yeah.
Probably not, because there was food scarcity. So eating anything you could get a hold of was a necessity.
Yeah. That's it, man. I just wanted to say something.
Okay. Alright, we'll take care.
Okay.
Okay, Varla. What's up, Varla?
Hello?
Hello?
Wait. Okay, what's this debate about? Do you like
The-
pick a topic every time a new person comes in?
You can just talk about whatever you want, really.
Really? Okay, so in that case, I want to invite you to join my Roblox group because it's a vegan Roblox group, but a lot of the people there, they like join to like troll me, and you know, I'm kind of out of argument points. You know, there's so many of them. It's like a 400 people server, and kind of out of points to defend myself.
What is Roblox? Is it kind of like Minecraft?
No, it's well, Roblox. You know, it has a lot more room for imagination because Minecraft has a you sort of have like a one goal, but Roblox just kind of keeps on going. For me, I own a like a military, so I find some other military groups and I like, you know, I challenge them to fight me and I just like fuck them up in game, right? That's what I do.
Okay, so I've seen the game. I just don't understand like what you're really doing. Is it kind of like Legos, but
I mean,
video
the
game?
aesthetic wise, yeah, like base wise, yeah, it's Legos, but you know, once you're into it, you know, it's not too much different, other than graphics from like, you know, an MMO or, you know, GTA or something.
I don't know, man. I never played Minecraft. It never appealed to me. I don't know if I'd be into Roblox. I'm really pretty much just into shooters or
Oh, there's shooter games
action
on
games
Roblox,
like
dude.
Devil May Cry. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah, but you know, it's like low poly shooter games.
Is it on Steam?
No, you just go to the Roblox website and you're like fine.
Okay, I thought I saw it on Steam once, and I was just looking for it, and I couldn't find it. I'll check it
No,
out,
well,
dude.
it's
How
probably not
about,
on Steam since it's a free game, you know.
Oh, okay, it's free. Okay, well, I'll check it out. Message me on Twitter, and then maybe I'll join the Roblox group.
All right, sick. I'll give you like a special vegan games rank because I've been a fan of your channel for like 5-6 years now.
Okay, dope.
All right, lit. Thank you.
All right, take care. Hey, Jasmine, what's up? I am. The guy I was debating was mentally disabled, and the debate lasted like maybe 30 minutes. So I'm just inviting people into the Discord and just talking about whatever. No, yeah, he was like an actual mentally disabled person. Alright, Armax, what's up?
Hello.
Hey, dude.
First of all, thank you for introducing me to veganism 3 years ago. I've been vegan ever since, and I just want that
It's on my
to.
lap.
Is it ethically justifiable to, for example, in a given place where there are many herbivores, for example, I don't know, deer? Is it justifiable to introduce natural predators as a population control measure, or even hunting? Is it
Yeah,
justifiable?
I'd say no. So you would probably want to join Ask Yourself's Discord and talk to someone like Dr. Avi about this. He'd know a bit more about this topic than I do. But no, so you're introducing like basically a xenomorph into their population. It's basically like if you're going to control the human population with xenomorphs from aliens. Yeah, having some sort of predator that will brutally murder and like slowly kill a bunch of animals, I don't see how you can claim that's ethical. This argument of population control is also kind of nonsensical. We don't really have to do anything to control the deer population. I've heard the argument that, but they breed so quickly, and then there's so much it becomes a human hazard, so like they'll jump in. Yeah. So one big reason for that is there was this policy that was created a long time ago where deer were almost wiped out. They created this policy that you could only hunt so many of them, and they also got rid of a lot of farmland and reforested it. So one major reason why there's that issue with deer is we've just given them a bit too much territory. If we just reduced their territory, wouldn't be that big of a problem. We also don't need hunting. There's actually some research on basically it's like a tranquilizer gun, only it doesn't tranquilize them, it sterilizes them. So sterilization is actually just as, if not more effective than hunting for reducing population. I mean, these things just naturally balance themselves out. If deer overpopulate, then they're just going to die of hunger or disease or something like that, and then it fixes itself.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is it better to have a natural predator or just let them die of starvation?
Yeah, I'd say let them die of starvation. Like, would you rather be hunted by a xenomorph or starve? I'd personally rather starve.
I mean, for example, take a forest where they hunted all the wolves, and you, after, for example, a decade, you want to reintroduce wolves. That would be also a xenomorph? Or?
Yeah, like, I mean, you're essentially, it's the equivalent, the human equivalent would be introducing xenomorphs into the human population to control the human population. I wouldn't want to be hunted down by xenomorphs from aliens. I don't think deer would want to be hunted down by wolves or cougars or anything. So I don't think it's ethical to introduce those animals into their population. And there's more effective means of population control, like reducing their territory and using, like if it was a huge issue, just use chemical castration methods, basically.
Alright, and just one more follow-up. If it's provable that, for example, introducing natural predators is good for the environment and will help us with climate change, would it be justifiable then when we reduce harm on the long run?
So if you could prove that there's an overall benefit, like it reduces suffering and death by introducing a predator, then you could make that argument. But like you're not gonna, like, it's just not gonna happen. Just having wolves kill deer, that's not gonna reduce climate change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, take care. Okay. Betsy? Don't know how you pronounce that name. What's up? Hello? Do you hear me, dude? Heard him making noise. Do you hear me, buddy? You there? Okay. Whatever. Vic, what's up? Hello.
Hey. Yeah, I can hear you. So my point is, dude, why? I know a lot of activists are against meat reductions, like, but if the end goal is to reduce the animal suffering, then why just not agree to meat reduction, like, not just go for veganism, but maybe go for meat reduction first?
Because we're vegan activists, we have certain moral principles. We're not reducitarians, we're not welfareists, we're abolitionists. And if we're going to argue that you should never eat meat ever because it's wrong, it is completely paradoxical to say it's okay to eat meat sometimes.
So what's the end goal?
The end goal is to eliminate the use of animal agriculture.
If some people won't agree on, like, totally veganism, then it's worse than meat reduction. Like,
No. Look, we have certain moral principles, and we have to advocate for those moral principles. Claiming that it's okay to eat animals sometimes, that is paradoxical to the vegan message.
sometimes it can be worse for animals. You value your values, but it can be bad for animals.
I don't understand.
Not everybody will go vegan, but if you ask them to go, like, eat 2 days a week meat, then it's gonna be better for animals. Do you think about animals or about, like, values, your values?
Okay, dude. I do think about the animals. That's why I'm a vegan activist, and I don't think it's ever right to kill and eat animals, which is why I advocate for veganism. Telling people it's okay to murder sometimes, that goes completely against my values. You seem to be focused on some sort of short-term goal of just smaller reductions. I have the long-term goal of completely eliminating animal agriculture, and the more people we can turn vegan, the better. If people are willing to reduce their meat intake, that's a step in the right direction, but that's not what I'm going to advocate for. I'm going to advocate for people to never kill and eat animals. Just like how we advocate for people to never rape children or never use slavery. Can you think of, can you think of one social justice movement like feminism, the anti-slave movement, anything like that, where they advocated for, racism is okay sometimes. It's okay to have a little bit of slavery. Can you name one movement that ever used that sort of tactic?
Actually, yes. Actually, slavery was when slavery was not good for government. Only then people, like, started to become a slave activist. It's process, dude. Actually, I've read this book, How to Create a Vegan World, and it talks about that we have to be more, like, nice. And, so what do you think about this book? Did you read it?
No. Okay, so tactics used for argumentation, that's completely separate from saying it's okay to eat meat sometimes. Like, veganism is something very specific. It's an abolitionist idea where it's never okay to eat meat, use animals. And then if you were to say, just eat meat like once or twice a week, that is not veganism. So you're not advocating for veganism when you say that type of shit. You're advocating for welfareism, basically.
I don't get it. For example, my mom, if I ask her to go vegan, she will never. But if I ask her, Mom, please do not eat this meat on Sunday, she will. And it's better. Why not? Why not say that? Why not agree to this?
Oh, okay, well, look, you can encourage people to eat less meat, but I mean, the end goal should always be to encourage them to never eat meat.
Yeah, I see.
Like, yeah, okay, sure, if you're going to introduce somebody to eating plant-based, you can say, okay, well, why don't you try just having, like, one day of the week where you don't eat any meat, see how you feel. Like, it's fine, but I mean, if your whole advocacy is going to be only eat meat sometimes, then yeah, I don't agree with that. You should always try to encourage people to never eat these foods.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Hey, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
That was my question.
All right, take care. Okay, Plantain, what's up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, dude?
Nope.
Hello? Yeah, I think people, they wait, they're like in the waiting room and they step away from their computer. You should, make sure you're like staying at your computer so you can hear me when I invite you in. I'll give him like 10 more seconds to respond. If he doesn't, then I'll just do it. Okay, I'm just gonna kick him out. Okay, Vegan God, what's up?
Alright, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, cool. So what's up, Rich? I've been watching you for like over a year now. I love the channel, love the content.
Thanks, man.
Keep doing what you're doing. Alright, so my point is your whole approach when you debate people. You sort of concentrate a lot about animal welfare, but I feel like if you really want to change people, since people are really selfish, you should concentrate more on nutrition.
Okay, well,
I do that.
yeah, if the debate is centered around vegan ethics, then I'm just going to talk about ethics. Whether something personally benefits you is tangential to the point that it's morally wrong to do something. So if I was like doing street activism and I was just trying to encourage somebody to go vegan, I might bring up nutrition if they have nutritional concerns, but if I'm going to have debates centered around ethics, I'm not going to appeal to their things that could personally benefit them to argue for ethics.
Alright, but the whole goal of the movement is to get people to switch to veganism, right?
Yeah.
But you're concentrating on trying to change their mindset. I feel like people are too stubborn these days, and if you try to change their mindset, it's not really going to work. It's just going to turn into a heated argument where someone takes it to a personal level.
Well, dude, if the debate is centered around ethics, I'm going to debate ethics. If the debate's centered around nutrition, then I'm going to debate nutrition. And if the topic of nutrition comes up during an ethical debate because they have some sort of nutritional concern that they think justifies eating animals, then I'll debate nutrition. That happened recently with my Destiny debate. I've had plenty of other debates where that happened. But yeah, ethics and nutrition, they're not related necessarily. And I don't see the point of just randomly bringing up nutrition and how veganism can personally benefit you when the debate's about ethics. Just because something might not necessarily personally benefit you, that doesn't mean it's ethical to support said thing.
I got you. Okay, so let me ask you a question. So if you were trying to convert somebody, would you go down a more moralistic path or a more nutritional path, like the nutritional benefits of food?
Depends who I'm talking to.
Yeah, I don't even know. Well, you don't see that, like, you can't give me like one it's the most, turning.
Sorry?
You don't think so you don't think that like one point would be more what's the word? Hold on, looking for the word.
Convincing?
I don't know. Yeah, convincing.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. I think in terms of like who's sticking to the lifestyle long term, it's usually people who are ethical vegans, like who actually care about the ethics. People who just do it for health benefits, I think they usually tend to fall off faster.
Okay. I got you. All right, cool. So it's just back to like what veganism actually is. It's just for the animals. I got you. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, nice talking to you, bro.
All right, no problem. Take care. Okay, so we got Mystical Potato in the chat. What's up?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Hi, big fan. What to do here? A little nervous.
So what do you want to talk about?
Okay, so I wanted to pick your brain about honey and what your thoughts are on it.
Right, so honey is exploitative, bees are sentient. You might be able to argue that some insects aren't sentient, but I think bees clearly are. They have a brain, nervous system. They're actually quite intelligent. They can communicate. They essentially have their own language. They communicate via dancing. They have a social structure, so they're pretty intelligent, sentient animals, and what we do in the honey industry is, by definition, exploitative. The way we make honey is also arguably cruel, so what they do is they take a male bee, they kill it, so they crush it to extract its sperm. They then forcibly inseminate the queen bee, which is rape, by definition. They also clip the queen's wings, so they mutilate these animals so that they don't fly away. So the colony will go wherever the queen goes. So they clip the queen's wings so she can't travel, and then they can keep the bees where they want them. And then, of course, we take the bees' honey, which is exploitative. So it's also not the best thing for the environment either. They compete with natural native pollinators like wild bees, bumblebees. There's plenty of flies that pollinate, plenty of butterflies and other insects like ants, beetles that pollinate as well. Because bees compete with that pollen, they affect natural native pollinators. And on top of that, honey just isn't good for you. It rots your fucking teeth and it's pure sugar.
Well, I agree with everything you said. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't done extensive research on honey, and I'm not advocating for or against it. I really just wanted to pick your brain, because I had some people tell me that it is beneficial for the environment, keeping the honey industry alive, just because the bees are so close to the planet.
Yeah, it's bullshit. So there's no environmental benefit. It only negatively impacts natural native pollinators. Ideally, you want to use natural native pollinators for pollination. Bees aren't a wild species. They're essentially a domesticated animal like dogs. So they can't live on their own. Like we basically are responsible for keeping them alive at this point. So yeah, you're basically taking away resources from wild animals by using bees.
Are there no bees in the wild? Like
there are wild bees, but the honeybees that we use, they don't exist in the wild. Yeah, there's a lot of different species of bees, but the bees we use for honey, they don't exist in the wild.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's basically it.
And what's it called? I've heard this argument from people before that we need bees for food production. Like without bees, we wouldn't have nearly as much food. That's actually bullshit. We don't need bees or any pollinators at all. We can actually pollinate food ourselves if need be. This has happened in China where they just didn't have any pollinators, including honeybees. So humans just pollinate crops themselves. So if bees and every pollination species were to go extinct, we'd still be able to produce food just fine. It's just that it's more efficient to use pollinators to do it because it's less work for us.
I actually had no idea we could pollinate ourselves. That's really interesting.
We're actually better at pollinating too. I think there's a study done. Bees are only like 50% effective. Human beings are almost 100% effective. It's just that it's much more work for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is there any way you could make a video showing studies and basically making the points you just made? But
I might do that.
Studies.
Yeah, I might do that.
I've searched it, and there are some channels, some vegan channels.
Yeah, I know Bite Size Vegan did a video about it a while ago, but I might do a video about it myself.
Sometimes it's, for me at least, hard to show Bite Size Vegan videos to people, just because if a person is very reluctant to the moral aspect of it and keeps throwing the arguments of it's needed for the planet or whatever, it's kind of hard to show it as proof, I guess. So I don't know. I guess I just like your style of presenting stuff, and I would like to see what you do with it.
Yeah, sure. I might do something like that soon.
Sweet. All right. Thanks for having me on. Bye. Have a great stream.
Okay, vegan brains. What's up, dude? Oh, okay, he just left. Scrat. What's going on, dude?
Hello?
Hey.
So I just wanted to know if you think that vegan teacher is like an overall good for veganism, or do you think she has any negative consequences?
No, so vegan teacher is a really sweet, nice person. Everything she has said on her TikTok is reasonable, logically consistent. Some of her more controversial videos, like claiming that, let's see, coming out as gay is selfish, whereas coming out as a vegan activist is not selfish because you're doing it for someone else. A perfectly logically valid statement to make, because yeah, if you do come out as gay, you are essentially doing it for your own personal benefit, whereas if you become a vegan advocate, you're doing it for someone else's benefit. She is also bisexual herself, so she's speaking from her own personal experience. I think as a bisexual woman, she's well within her right to give her own opinions on topics like these. People are just attacking her and bullying her because they're mad that there's someone on the internet who's vegan, is happy, healthy, and energetic, and they're miserable people who want her to feel as bad as they do. That's it.
Yeah, so do you think it's, like, I've kind of thought this to myself, but do you think it's insensitive to make, like, ukulele songs about serious, like, ethical topics like veganism? Like, it would be a bit insensitive to, like, make ukulele songs about child abuse, for example. So, like, I would kind of, like, apply the same logic to talking about animal suffering.
No. If she wants to express herself in song, then she can do that. There are plenty of songs talking about the Holocaust, black rights.
Yeah, but they aren't,
songs talking about slavery, like...
Yes, but they don't have, like, a positive connotation. Like, when you make
She's
ukulele
not speaking
songs
about
like
it
that,
in a positive light.
well, it's a happy song when you do a, like, ukulele song like she does. It's
No,
not like a negative song, like a sad song.
No, she's talking about injustice and cruelty that's happening in the industry, and I think she just happens to be kind of an upbeat person, so, yeah, and I'm sure if she knew how to play the violin, she'd play a sad violin music, but that's her instrument of choice, that's what she knows how to play, and that's just her personality, and if she wants to express herself that way, then that's fine. And I mean, just look at the amount of likes and upvotes she gets on her videos. Like, yeah, she has a lot of detractors, but I've seen plenty of people comment on her videos that she convinced them to go vegan, so I don't see how she's doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's, like, for me, it just seems a bit insensitive. Like, songs, like, even though the things she is saying are completely true, I just think, like, making a song that sounds happy in terms of the tones and so on, and the way she's singing it, I just think it's weird, but as long as she spreads the message, like, I'm not against it, so to speak. I just think it's a bit insensitive and weird.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's just your perspective, but I don't see anything wrong with it.
Alright.
Alright, well, thanks for coming on, dude. Take care.
Yeah.
Okay, Plantain, he's back.
Hello?
What's up, dude?
Hello?
Hey.
You can hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I was on push to talk before.
Okay.
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good, dude. What do you want to talk about?
Well, first of all, did you see the McGregor fight?
Yeah, he got beat pretty hard.
Yeah, it sucked, man. I was rooting for him to win, but...
I didn't think he was going to win. I don't know. He's older now. I don't think his training has been as serious. I don't think because he's rich and shit now, I don't think he's as motivated, so... And he's kind of been out, like, he hasn't fought in a while either, right?
Yeah, he hasn't fought in a little bit, but I think it was just a leg kick. He just wasn't expecting it as a game plan from Dustin. But I think that's why he lost. He just got his leg kicked.
Dustin also just looked
way bigger.
Like he just had more power in his strikes too.
Yeah, I think more power, more volume. Just frequency of strikes too, especially at the end, to take him out. But yeah, I mean, that leads me kind of to my next point I wanted to talk to you about, because you're planning on fighting someone, I think you said Kenny KO later on.
Yeah, boxing match.
Yeah, man, I think you should start training now, like as far as just getting that shoulder endurance, You know, I think your endurance is good because you're a past athlete, you're a hockey player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So strength is good, but like you want that like muscular endurance where you can just like go on for like minutes at a time. So I mean, I would still stick to the weights,
I think I'm just naturally good at that sort of thing because I was doing Muay Thai a few years ago, and when I just got into it, my muscular endurance was pretty good. I could do bag work for a few minutes straight without like my arms filling up with blood and not being able to move. So
yeah, I just don't want you to wait too long. Like now that everything's
like
open up,
I'm not gonna fight anyone right away without proper training. I want to have at least a few months of training, like maybe 4 months at least, once everything opens up, to fight Kenny.
Definitely.
And that should be plenty of time. So shit like endurance, it's an adaptation that occurs pretty quickly. So 4 months worth of time should be plenty.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you could gain cardio gains like quickly as opposed to like strength gains or like hypertrophy.
Yeah.
But you know, you just want to do things that are like sports specific. Like you want to start training your neck. You know, you could add that into your programs now. I don't know if you have a harness.
Yeah, net training's just annoying. I was doing it pretty consistently for a while, then I just got bored. But yeah, I definitely should start net training.
Yeah, just little things like that, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll get on that for sure.
Cool. And also, I noticed you did a debate with Perspective Philosophy on socialism. You know, I don't want to take this live stream on like a complete tangent, but what conclusions did you draw from that debate? Because I didn't get to watch it yet.
Some of Perspective Philosophy's ideas were just contradictory and didn't make any real sense to me. The fundamental issue that we ended up disagreeing on, that we're going to have another debate over, is whether or not somebody who is paid for labor owns what is produced by their labor. So say you're making t-shirts. He's arguing that if you're paid to make t-shirts, you should own those t-shirts and be allowed to do whatever you want with the sale of that t-shirt. Like, you should be in charge of the revenue that's generated, which just sounds completely and utterly fucking insane to me. Like, for a number of reasons. If you are paying someone for labor, you're paying someone for labor. Labor itself is a commodity, so I don't know why a laborer would necessarily own the work they're producing, especially if they sign a contract saying you do not own this work. That's pretty common practice in like the film and entertainment industry. I've worked as a photographer a lot. It's in the contract that you do not own the photos that you make. Like, that's just normal. But if you were to be hired at like a garment factory, it's well known that you don't own that garment and you don't get to decide what's done with the profit made from selling that garment. On top of that, there's so many issues with like determining ownership. So 90% of a factory job might be automated, but you might be in charge of like one very small aspect of the production of something. Like, okay, maybe you just have to package up t-shirts, but 99% of the operation is automated. So what, because you did some tiny little thing in the production, that means you own the entire fucking shirt? Like, there's so many issues. There's so many issues with determining, like, who owns, like, capital in the company. Like, if the company owner owns, like, a shit ton of raw materials, and then you have to work with those raw materials to produce something, well, what, do you now automatically own those raw materials even though you didn't fucking pay for them? Like, there's so many fucking problems.
Yeah, I mean, and you said the key word there, you said capital. I mean, I think he's applying still mechanisms that we see in capitalism and socialism. But I kind of have a whole different viewpoint about it. I don't know if you want to get into it here or if we should set something up separately. But I would love to talk to you about it coming from a different perspective than he's coming from, about like capitalism versus not socialism as we know it from history, but what socialism can be as far as technology and stuff. But
if you message me on Twitter, I can do another call with you and talk about it.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. All right. Thanks for your time.
Alright, I'll take care.
All right, man.
Okay, Vegan Brains. What's up, dude? You hear me?
Yeah, man. Hey.
Hey.
Just like to say I'm a big fan, and I've got a few points, like a few different subjects that I want to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to, obviously, I want to start off by saying I am vegan. I've been vegan like 8 years now, so like I'm not on the obviously the defending side. So I wanted to ask an opinion on. So you said in the video a while back, you said it a few times over. You've said that like obviously eating meat is wrong. If you've got like another option, like obviously veganism is to reduce the suffering of different animals as much as possible, which I totally agree with. But obviously, I think you mentioned in the video, quote me if I'm wrong, but it was like someone asked you that if you were like in the wild, or if you were like shipwrecked or something, and you could only survive by eating animals. I think you said you would, because like that's the only way you can survive. Where you can survive with alternatives and on a healthy vegan diet, you obviously that's the better alternative. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask was about that subject is, so basically I am interested in forest schools, like going out in the woods, camping, things like that, building shelters primitively and things like that. But obviously for me, I've never really heard any vegans talk about this from like a veganism perspective, and obviously you're quite educated, so I can be you. So is it classed as non-vegan if obviously you're a vegan and you wanted to watch a survival program, for example, like Bear Grylls, Ed Stafford, or one of these survival practitioners, on the Discovery Channel, whatever. But obviously you're going there to obviously learn about survival tips, and as you said, obviously surviving the wild, there's no other vegan alternatives, and you have to survive. So is it obviously non-vegan to watch them shows and support that show, or if in that show they are demonstrating how to survive and how to trap animals on a very small scale, like they're not mass killing for no reason, like they're killing to survive?
Yeah, I'd say it would be. I've talked about this before on some other streams. If there's like a television program or a movie or something that they use some sort of animal abuse, exploitation, or murder, I don't think it's ethical to support that show by watching it, giving them money, paying for that movie, Hateful Eight and Django, that's a movie that used a lot of horses and stuff, and they're ridden with bits and crap and whips. I would say it's not vegan to watch a movie like that, just because of the amount of animal abuse and exploitation that happens in that movie. Same with something like that with Bear Grylls being a fucking asshole, just finding some random alligator or a mouse and fucking eating it while it's alive. I fucking hate that cunt. So, yeah. For the same reason, I'd say don't watch a movie like Hateful Eight or Django. You shouldn't watch programs like that if you watching it would give them money. I'd say if you do want to watch a program like that, torrent it, like pirate it, so that it doesn't give the company any money with you viewing it.
Right. It's just because obviously you said that if you were obviously shipwrecked or something, I think you said in the debate, you would obviously eat meat if you could catch it or get it to survive, because obviously it's
if it was necessary to survive.
Yeah, so obviously what I was saying is obviously if you were watching the program with the intent of obviously you're not trying to learn how to trap animals to go out into the woods and obviously kill something just for the fun. If you were only learning it just to obviously protect yourself if something did happen in the future, just obviously just to get the knowledge. The majority of the knowledge you're watching the show for, but obviously would you say that obviously since you had the opinion of if it was to survive, then yes, but then at the same time it comes across as non-vegan to obviously learn how to survive, because you face it a lot of the general
No, I never said that. I said if there is a television program that is causing abuse, murder, exploitation of animals, then yeah, it's non-vegan to support that show. That's all I'm saying. So if you wanted to learn something from some wildlife expert or something, just pirate some documentary or program. Really, all of these fucking shows, they're bullshit, especially Bear Grylls. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's not a survival expert. A lot of survival experts have talked about how he's a fucking moron and he has no clue what he's talking about, so... Bear Grylls is an idiot, anyway. There's plenty of books that you can find that are probably more useful and you can easily pirate or torrent. and really they're books anyway, so there's nothing necessarily that goes into exploiting animals or murdering them for books. Like, somebody with that knowledge might have done that, like murdered animals. But the book itself, it's not supporting that, so even if you bought it, I don't see an issue with that. Television program, I'd say it's a little bit different, because they are actually, you are actually like paying somebody to fucking murder an animal for you. Like, that's the actual program that you're paying for. Whereas book, it's just somebody's knowledge that they've already obtained.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, I was just asking because obviously I didn't want to start, obviously, watching the shows or like, I mean, I'll watch stuff on YouTube if it's like building the shelters. Like, I won't really watch anything to do with like trapping or killing. I don't want to click on those videos because I know it's supporting that person to go out getting the views and stuff like that. So it's obviously not ethical. So obviously, I just wanted to ask your opinion because I've never heard anyone talk about it. So thanks for your opinion on that, man.
Yeah, no problem. I would say if you do want to learn how to like hunt or trap animals, I mean, there's ways of getting that information without financially supporting the people who are providing that information. You can torrent, pirate, use ad block, things like that. I'd say just do that.
Yeah, okay. So my second point is just, it's not to do with like ethics, it's more to do with like going vegan in a sense. So I have a friend who she has celiac disease, and obviously I asked her about it and she explained. Now I don't know if you know anything about celiac and going vegan, but apparently she can't eat gluten, and obviously if she went on a vegan diet, apparently she said that she would have to cut out a lot of things that she can like only get from like meats and things. So I wanted to ask, is it actually possible to go vegan with celiac disease, like, and actually be
there's
healthy?
plenty of people. Yeah, there's plenty of people who've done it. I'm pretty sure if you just like search on YouTube vegan celiac disease, you'll find people who have celiac disease who are vegan YouTubers who do vlogs and talk about what foods they can and can't eat. There is no medical condition that has ever been identified where it is required to eat meat. So you can eat vegan with celiac disease, you just have to avoid certain foods. That's it.
Okay, so my next point is, I don't know if you watch a lot of Joey Carbstrong's content. I know that you and him, I know that you didn't obviously like what he did with the budget for yeah. So I wanted to ask your opinion on this because I've heard you debate about like LGBT and trans rights and all that, which, you know, fair enough. So he did a video where he went to Pride in the UK. And he was going around and he wasn't asked, like, saying, like, he wasn't, like, getting in people's faces and stuff. He basically just asked people what their opinion was on, like, obviously they are striving for, like, equal rights, efficacy. They want everybody to be included. I can't get the right word, but, you know, like, everyone to be included and everyone, like, supporting society. And he was going around asking them, well, if you're obviously campaigning for everybody to, like, be caring and accepted in society and not, like, judge and hate, then do you think that obviously you should extend that same opinion to going vegan? And then obviously some people were like, yeah, I agree, and some people were like, I don't. So what is your opinion on that?
I think if you have a stance that humans should have rights, then those similar rights that give humans protection from harm, that those same rights should extend to animals. And especially if you are somebody who protests against like homophobia or discrimination against marginalized groups, then I'd say it's even more hypocritical for you to support animal abuse. So that's just my stance. Like, if you do have a belief that humans should have rights, by logical extension, animals should have rights.
Yeah.
So I think these people who are like supporting gay pride and stuff weren't vegan. They're just total hypocrites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the same opinion myself because, like, I have a really close friend that is gay, and I was asking him, like, he's been really close to going vegan lately, but obviously he's still trying to obviously learn about foods and how to substitute. And I asked him the proposition, and he totally agreed. But obviously, I've also spoken to other people that aren't vegan, and they kind of label you as well, like, oh my god, you're comparing that to that, like that's not good, like, and they completely label you. So I just wanted to ask if it was actually a viable debate proposition. Yeah, so.
What? That it's like, it's discrimination against animals, like the discrimination against animals is the same as discrimination against gays?
Yeah, so basically just comparing, like, if you're gay and you're campaigning for everyone to be equal and have equal rights, and obviously, you know, be ethically sound, then why not extend that same love to animals? If that's what you want for yourself, then why wouldn't you extend that to animals?
Yeah,
So
I mean, you can trait equalize a human to an animal. You can find mentally disabled people that have the same level of intelligence as like a chicken or a pig or something. They still have the same rights under the law as any other person. So I don't see how you could say animals don't deserve rights because they're animals, but if you trait equalize a human to an animal, these same people would say, oh, well, they're human, they deserve rights. It doesn't make any sense. Basically, they're saying discrimination is okay when I say it's okay.
Okay. Cool, man. My last point, because obviously I want to let other people have a go, obviously I just wanted to ask one little thing. It's not like a big thing, but basically, obviously I'm an actor, and obviously I want to hopefully get in movies one day. And I want to ask you a question, like, I know the movie business now is a lot different than when it was back, like, in the 90s or whatever, and there were a lot more lenient to help the actors and sport cast. But I wanted to ask a question, like, what if I was, for example, I got a role in, let's just say, a show like Vikings, we're not seeing a show like that. But obviously they do have a lot of fur pelts, and obviously I don't know if they use real fur, I'm not 100%. But if, for example, you got the thing on there and they didn't brief you about costumes and you just got the job, and then you obviously were vegan, and then they informed that, but they didn't actually tell you that you needed to wear like a real fur garment, for example, and they didn't have fox fur. What would you go about that? Because obviously, if you think about it, it's like your career. You might get paid like millions of pounds per series for this show. So obviously, you don't want to piss off the company, because then you might obviously lose your career chance to get going. And I know you've talked about that.
Yeah, so these things are like a weird gray area, dude, because you could look at things in a lot of different ways. On one hand, you could say, yeah, it's not vegan to support the fur industry. It's hypocritical to say, you know, it's okay to work for a production company that's exploiting animals. On the other hand, would you not being involved in that industry change anything? Like, if you were to deny that role and somebody else hired you, would it end up helping the animal rights organization? Would they end up using less fur or exploiting animals less? Probably not. And on top of that, if more vegans get active in Hollywood, that gives you more leverage to actually talk to production companies to not use these products and shit. So I don't know, man. It's a weird gray area where I would probably say it's up to you, kind of like. So yeah, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable with doing something like that, but at the same time, it might be more of an overall benefit to just get more vegans in Hollywood and making these sorts of compromises. So, yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things I was thinking, obviously, is there's a lot of cancel culture around, like, in this day and age. Like, if you do one thing wrong as a celebrity, like, they're going to try and pin you down. So obviously, if I was openly vegan in interviews and stuff, and then they found out I was wearing a fur pelt because there was no other option and they didn't have like a fox fur, and that would risk me losing my job, then they might be trying to cancel me. So I wanted to know where the middle ground was. Obviously, my goal is eventually to do well in the industry, possibly become rich. And obviously,
yeah, dude. So if somebody, like tries,
something like that, make a speech,
yeah. So if somebody tries to bust your balls over something like that, I would just say, look, if I want to work in this industry, there's no other option, and I'd like to change the industry so that, you know, animals aren't used in that sort of way for film production. I would just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'd say that's a moral gray area, so it's up to you. But no problem, dude.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's been good. I love your content. Big fan. And best to you and Jasmine. Thanks, man.
Thanks, dude. Take care. Okay, I think Eel was next in the Discord. What's up, dude? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, what's going on?
Good. So, first of all, I'm a fan of your channel since Wrestle League 2015. And my question is, do you know 269 Movement? Have you heard of them?
269, is that the pig that was slaughtered or something, or escaped?
A calf, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I know them. I know some people
what do you think
who got
about
branded.
What do you think of their general activism methods? Like spraying blood on people and all these things.
So, I think the public demonstration of branding is pretty powerful. I think that is a good message. I don't know everything the group does. I've heard of them, and I've seen their public branding demonstrations where they tie a person up. Obviously, this is all consensual, but they tie someone up and then brand them, and it's extremely painful. I've known some people who've actually gotten that done. I think that is, decent activism. I wouldn't do it myself because I don't want to get burned. But, yeah, I have no issue with that. I just don't know everything the group does, so I can't really speak on anything else. But, yeah, those sorts of public demonstrations showing how animals are treated, I think that's a good way to show, cruelty in the industry.
Okay, I'm trying to talk about the specific thing that they go to restaurant and they just pour blood on people that are eating meat, like fake blood.
Okay, yeah, I don't think that is particularly useful or helpful. Do they deserve it? Sure. I don't think that is effective activism. I don't think it turns too many people vegan. I think that really just annoys the people eating there, and that could also be considered assault and battery. So, probably not a great idea.
Okay, last thing I just want to say, I have a friend who became vegan because of your contacts.
Okay, cool.
Okay, have a nice day. Bye-bye.
You too, man. Take care. Okay, I think, Henrik? What's next? Henrik, what's up? I do not hear you, dude. There you are. Now I hear you.
Hi?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so, I have a few questions. One question about, training, and then another about ethics, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah. So, I've been training Taekwondo for a while, and, I've been wondering what else I should do to improve my training.
Okay, so what are your goals?
Like, I want to get a black belt.
Okay, so general strength training is always a good idea. Strength helps in every sport. Improving your squat and deadlift would almost certainly improve your kicking power and strength. So I do stuff like that. You might want to incorporate some more athletic moves that help with power specifically, like cleans and some, what's it called, kettlebell work, like kettlebell swings. So I'd incorporate some strength and power training into your routine to help with Taekwondo.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, thanks. And then the other question was that I have a rescue snake, and I've been feeding him like frozen mice, obviously, because he's a carnivore and everything. But I was wondering if you know anything about how the mice are killed in that industry, so I could like
I
try
think they're usually gassed to death. I think they're usually just suffocated with CO2 or something. Or, let me see, I think they might poison them with something. Let me see, mice. Let me look that up. Mice kill snakes. Let's see. Feeder mice. I'm pretty sure they just use like CO2 gassing or something. I'm fairly certain. They might use some kind of poison, but I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure that snake would end up eating that poison and get sick, so I think they just suffocate them.
Okay. So do you know what I could do to...
Yeah, I would just, I would just get rid of the snake, give it to somebody else or something.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, ideally, I don't think predators, like these carnivorous animals, should be kept as pets. Really, if it were at all possible, ideally either set them out in the wild or just kill them, euthanize them, because you have to kill countless other animals to keep them alive. It just doesn't make any sense. Don't know if that would be legal to do where you are, because that could be considered like pet abuse or something. I would say just give it to somebody else.
Oh. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Alright, take care.
Yep, thanks.
Okay, my Mashty Catnip? What's up?
Oh, hey, hello.
Hey, what's up?
I have a couple questions to ask you, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, so my first question is, have you seen, like, the video, like, remember when you did that live stream destroying Veganphobic and Bobby's perspective? Apparently Veganphobic responded with another video where he, like, where you asked him to deadlift and he actually deadlifted.